All right, thank you very much for taking time to join us on the program today. Good evening to you. Maybe good morning to you in case you're not there for Nigeria, the watch us. Welcome to GDP, Governance, Development and People. And of course, my name is TWITWI AYENOWOWON. Today on the program, three things for us to talk about. And of course, all of these three, they affect people for this country. Firstly, on the program, we shall look at healthcare and medical tourism. And of course, this is one sector we agree we have suffered so much on this sector for so many years now. We've been looking for ways at least to give Nigerians good medical healthcare. And for many years, we've had our leaders and even some other Nigerians sojourn abroad for medical tourism. We shall take a look at this and what governments over the years have refused to do. And also, the program, we shall also talk about metering, the politics behind all of this, electricity and metering. You know, there's this back and forth going on between the National Electricity Regulatory Commission and, of course, the distribution companies. But on the program, we shall also get to hear what Nigerians have to say about this and the stress they go through just to get a meter. Some even have to take to bribery. And lastly, on the program, for over the years, for decades now, if we have to go back just to bring it so close, 2011, since the United Nations Environmental Programs released a report on the Ogoni land, since then nothing has been done. In 2016, Vice President Yemi Osibajo represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the flag off of the cleanup. And since then, we've not heard any information on this. And now, as we speak, the cleanup is going to be commenced in 2 weeks. We'll take a look at all of this and what the challenges has been and the way needed to clean up Ogoni land. Stay with us as we go for this break, and when we come back, it shall be just less than 30 minutes with me on the program. GDP, Governance, Development and People. Thank you very much for staying with us. And of course, it's GDP, Governance, Development and People on Citizen Information Network. In case you've just joined us, my name is TWITWI AYENOWOWON. And of course, on the program today, quickly let's take a look at this. It's becoming very interesting and even very sad. A sad tale for Nigerians, especially for poor Nigerians. Even the rich Nigerians feel the burden at times, because most times it's not really easy to secure the papers to travel abroad for medical tourism. Now, just last year in November, the Minister for State for Health, or SAGE, or Henry, or I beg your pardon, Hanire, I really find it difficult sometimes to pronounce this name. Yeah, Hanire said that that year, that Nigerians spent annually a total of $2 billion on medical tourism. $2 billion. If we convert that to Naira at the rate of 360 Naira to $1, we are talking about 722 billion Naira. That is the amount Nigerians spent annually on medical treatment, medical care abroad. This not be small money at all, because we know that 720 billion Naira is the budget of about 7 states put together in Nigeria. You know, so that means we've been spending so much to go abroad for treatment. If you talk to some Nigerians, the reason they go abroad for treatment is because some of them trust the medical practitioners abroad better than they trust Nigerians. Those that is Nigerians practicing here in Nigeria. Because according to the Minister for Health for State, he said that we have over 498 neurosurgeons, but only 108 are practicing here in Nigeria. Because majority of these other people go abroad for practice. because medically, doctors will always complain about the pay here in Nigeria. So most times when people go abroad for treatment, they still get treated by Nigerians. Just that the difference is that these Nigerians reside abroad. So one important thing that makes this very important is that over the years, governments will come up with budget from state level to even the federal government and even local government. But hardly do we see government officials patronize hospitals even built by them. You hear cases like recently, in Akwa Ibom State, where the governor of Akwa Ibom State, the previous governor of the state, I beg your pardon, Senator Godswill Akpabio, commissioned what he called the world-class hospital in the state. But just a minor accident the other time in Abuja, he was flown abroad for treatment. Now, these and many more. But most importantly again is that as we speak, we have so many prominent Nigerians who died abroad. But before we talk about these ones, let's talk about President Muhammadu Buhari. When he was very ill, he was away out of the country for about 9 months. Yes, about 10 months, he stayed away. He enjoyed medical treatment in London, particular. And as we speak, we are yet to know how much the government actually spent on President Muhammadu Buhari's treatment. No one can tell for a fact that this is the actual amount spent on him. But one of the things we know is that during the period the president was away for treatment, even his wife, yes, Aisha Buhari, said that the Aso Rock Clinic lacked so many equipment and even drugs to cure mere headaches, despite the fact that the Aso Rock Clinic got over 1 billion naira in budgetary allocation. President Muhammadu Buhari could not even trust the Aso Rock Clinic for his medical care. Yes, though we understand that President Muhammadu Buhari is not the only Nigerian or the only Nigerian president to have gone abroad for treatment. We also had in the case of late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua. He was in Saudi Arabia for so many years, battling disease. May his soul rest in peace. But one reason this is very important is for the fact that he was in Saudi Arabia for years. And remember that dramatic moment when he was brought back into the country and they had to do abracadabra and light went off at the airport. I wish we can just switch off the light in the studio. But really, there's no need for that. No one is sick here. But importantly again is that even despite the fact, you see messages and videos on TV of Nigerians seeking support of Nigerians to raise funds to go to abroad for medical treatment. And the latest destination has been India. Yes. We've had so many policies in this country talking about insurance policies, healthcare policies, the different scheme. Do not forget that most recently, that was last year, in fact, last year it was, 2017, when we had the case of the head of the Nigerian health insurance scheme. He was labeled for corruption. And yet, we still, all of us, every one of us knew how that case went. Not to talk about the so many corrupt practices taking place or happening at the state level and even local government level. Where medical facilities, especially at the primary level. Now, quickly, as we move on, let's just the then Minister for Finance, she is also late, Dora Akurili, what he has to say during the dramatic period of late President Yar'Adua's return to Nigeria.
The President invited us, as you all know, for a meeting in his office meeting room at 2 p.m. And when we came, he told us that we have heard that the President has returned. He has been briefed by the aides of Mr. President, and that he hopes to see the wife of the President this evening. And that when we meet next week, we will be briefed on the outcome of the Saudi trip by the 6 ministers, members of council, and that when he is eventually briefed by our President, he would call up.
All right, that was the then, late Dora Akurili, then Minister for Information under the previous government of late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua. Now, you heard in that video about 6 ministers then traveled to see him in Saudi Arabia. Not with their own money they spend, now Nigeria money. And even as we speak at this moment, President Muhammadu Buhari is the incumbent president of Nigeria, never really still did the needful to at least come out to tell Nigerians, see, the kind of hospital wey dem for treat am for London wey make am not payment that time say go be the hospital for Nigeria. Because we dey talk now, not be only President Muhammadu Buhari get that kind of problem wey he get now. You know, from here to the OT wey come talk say they pass blood, pass blood for entire body. You know, as people say they die because of blood for this country. So now when President Muhammadu Buhari don vote enter again now, we dey expect say this time before he go come up for government, he go make sure say the kind of hospital wey dem for treat am for London, he build am for now. If you like not put the hospital for Dara, nobody just do the hospital. Because it is very sad and remember, you know, once you just make me laugh again. I remember when the incumbent president government of Lagos State came into our office then. Yes, the governor, His Excellency Akim Membo, they tell us, say, the way it be so, the kind of hospital they want build for Lagos will be the best for Africa. Till today, foundation we not see, not to talk of roof or anything building. But we know say money don't enter the project. So if we want to look at this, Nigeria still they die today because we get government people where they go abroad for treatment. So my appeal to the National Assembly and the state houses of assembly is that we have to make a law. I remember the last time I had a conversation with Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. We talked about this, that there is need for the National Assembly and even the state houses of assembly to come back together and pass a bill that will stop government officials from going abroad for treatment. Yes. If you want die here. Maybe if one person die for Nigeria here, they say wetin kill am. They say na blood no dey or they forget knife for im belle. Maybe we make people call serious. Because do not forget that even when President Muhammadu Buhari's son had an accident, a bike accident in Abuja, he was flown abroad. Remember all of this drama. So you wey dey watch this clip now, especially you wey dey Nigeria here, if anything happen to you now, they go fit fly you go abroad. And they'll take treat you. So there is need for every one of us as Nigerians to come together because $2 billion every year to take go abroad. Okay now, because the matter is serious past even the way myself take the talker. But we know say if whether the government like or they not like, we continue to they talk this kind of thing, maybe they know say the we self we they see what they do and we not go shut up at all because if President Muhammadu Buhari fail to do they may not come talk anything for TV again. That hospital will go for London. We want to see the type of hospital for Nigeria before it will come out. If you not go for drama, we know say don't fail. Although some people say not be today government they fail. Not be only go first the president, but we hope say change go there. Now away from this the healthcare and medical tourism. Now one other big issue before is the issue of electricity and metering. We'll come to discuss this after we go for this break because our correspondent took to the streets of Lagos earlier, the early hour of today to talk to Lagosians. And this now we see some of them have to say about this prepaid meter we would all they shout for this country. Not forget as we they talk about this one for Nigeria here. You wait there abroad they watch you say see what they still they shout for Nigeria. Not vex my sister brother where they obodo yonder. Now where we dey be this? Now still the level where we dey. So when they come back, when we come back from this break, we will even show you a clip of prominent Nigerians then we die for abroad. Just more watch the clip together. All right, welcome back. That video we will see now, the video put together by the International Center for Investigative Reporting. And of course, that video shows a list of Nigerians there will die for abroad, especially for London. No wonder some people that they refer to Nigeria as, even Africa, as very grand, where people go make money, go abroad, go flex their money, they come back here, come buy, so that they'll fit bury them for the grant for here. Well, that now about that one, we just hope things will improve for the country going forward. Now, let's take a look at what Nigerians have to say about this prepaid meter, because the drama about this prepaid meter, it all turns some tears. But earlier today, our correspondent visits the streets of Lagos, and this now what some Lagosians get to talk about this prepaid meter.
Why? Because to get them now is wahala. Because if you don't get money now, if you get them.
But you don't apply before.
No, I don't apply. But my friend will apply. They say they bid and say me go. If you don't see money, then they no go give them. And they give some people will be say big man, they give them. But if some people go there, won't collect them like this, they no go give them. Because my friend go there, we won't go collect them. They say come today, come tomorrow, come today, come tomorrow. They don't give them. I believe we pay money before they will give us.
But tell you how much you pay before they not give us. Tell you how much you pay.
He tell me. He said he first pay 5,000 for one place like this. So sometimes he call me to one guy. He say if you want collect them sharp. If you want collect them sharp now, the money na 10,000 naira. The one go say what happen? Say you don't pay 10,000. You want say you want collect 10,000. You say what happen? Now my friend first say you know come back there again. Say what happen? Say you dey see person where they collect them. Say why? The government say na free. You go there, you go say this, you go pay this one, you go pay this before you go collect. Say he say why? Why it happen like that? Because he has say government now say to go there na free. Say why not be free again?
No, only my daughter and husband at Ogoni. Yeah.
But mommy, you read about it before, right?
Yeah.
But would you prefer to have prepaid meter or normal NEPA billing?
I have normal NEPA. Normal NEPA is good. It is good. But this prepaid meter is good though, at less price.
No, where will I get that from? We don't have such in my area because prepaid meter you pay your money, they will not bring it for you. Even go there, they will tell you they don't have prepaid meter. So we just do our normal old meter thing. That's what we are using.
What have you applied for?
We have applied several times. In my former house I applied, and my new house now we still applied again, and it's the same question. They keep on telling you they don't have meter. You understand? So we use the former old method of meter. So that's what we use up to now.
When you were applying, sir, was there at any point where you had to pay money for them to deliver it to you?
Yes, in fact the last one we did, we asked us to pay money. That because it's not available, we have to pay extra money for.
How much, sir?
I think it was 50-something thousand we paid. That they are going to bring the meter. Then we have to give the guy that was going to help us to bring the meter. We have to give him 20,000 naira to bring it, to make it snappy. Till today we didn't see anything. At the end of the day, we end up losing.
All right, thank you very much for staying with us. This GDP, Governance, Development and People on Citizen Information Network. Yeah, well. What will be the drama behind prepaid meter? Honestly, we don't battle this for a very long time now. Because now, for the benefit of Nigerians, and when they watch this program now, you not reside in Nigeria. When we talk about prepaid meter, now just the metering system where you have to buy your card, your electricity card, and put the code. So whatever unit you have on your card will be what you have to consume. So you do not have to wait for the electricity distribution company, DISCO, as we have them in Nigeria, to issue you monthly bill. But as it is in most parts of Nigeria, and according to reports, over 13 million Nigerians who are in need of these prepaid meters, who are yet to be metered. Now, so many who are yet to be metered are just these Nigerians who do not even have whether prepaid or any meter. So what they do is that the distribution companies give what they call estimated billing. And so many Nigerians have described this as a very crazy thing. Now, let's just tell you the cost of prepaid meter. If you have a single phase prepaid meter, if you want a single phase prepaid meter, you will pay less than 40,000 naira for a single phase prepaid meter. That is about 39,000 naira, for a single phase prepaid meter. Now, if you want the one for the three phase prepaid, you pay about 68,000 naira for this. But the most shameful thing as we speak now is that whether you get the money or you not get her, you no go still see meter. Because before now, the distribution companies complained about the production that, oh, they do not have this meter. And we have a situation where the Ministry for Power, in collaboration with the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, together and set up what they call the meter asset provider. So because at the moment, what we have in Nigeria, we have the generation companies, the GENCOs, we have the distribution companies, we have the transmission company of Nigeria. So they've now set up another provider in the electricity business in the country called the meter asset provider. Now, with the meter asset provider, this is just what we provide. These are the individuals who provide meters to Nigerians upon request by the distribution company. So it's no longer supposed to be a burden on the distribution companies to provide the meters. So, but you still have to go or apply to the distribution companies. But now, the government has, in fact, came out recently that they are going to sanction distribution companies. In fact, the statement was even issued this year again, because according to the Minister for Power and Steel, Fashola, he said we have over 108 licensed meter assets providers. That is the map. But over 108, and still we have Nigerians who cannot access the prepaid meters. It's a shame. But we've discovered that the reason why they're behind this, we say, the distribution companies, they use the lack of this meter until they extort so many Nigerians. Because in some cases, what do they say? Now Nigerians, they provide most things for themselves. The pole, the cables, draw the light, enter their house, buy the transformer, do everything. So what did the distribution company just they do? Just can't collect money. So even the one where government say, "Now do again," because with the meter, with this one means that you pay for it, but at a very low cost, And by the time you have all of this available, life becomes easy. If you not do your house, you off your light. Nobody go call owe you for light money. Your mind go rest. By that time, if you want manage 2,000 for 1 month or 1 year, now you go know what you want to own for your house. But with this one now, when I estimated bill, what they call the crazy bill, what did the Apple be say? Light come once, whether they flash ammo, they not flash ammo, they go ask you for money. No wonder with also cases where Nigerians don't protest for different places. You see where Nigerians protest with different placards, we don't want PACN, but up all the protests, we still get places for Nigeria like this. Even this Lagos, we light, at all, because the people never get money to take buy cable for light to reach them. Places that day, especially for Bejuleki, for some part of our Muward of local government area, you go tire for waiting the government they do. So it all make me they wonder this now because Fashola go come at your call TV, talk say, oh, Nigerians do this, Nigerians that we are generating power. Even though if we like, maybe we generate 70,000 megawatts. If we not get way to take distributor to people's house, it will be of no use. That is the shameful thing about all of this. And now, government will just dey talk for paper, we will sanction the discos, we will do this. But we not dey see the way they take the sanction. Maybe we not forget, say when government sanction, I say sanction, when they sanction telecommunication provider like MTN, everybody know the way the brigade go, know how the money to go. But why it be like say government, they find it difficult to sanction the distribution companies. You know why? Now because say na them. And at them get them. They'll just put one person for top as figurehead. So, if we really want to get light for this country, Nigerians must ready to protest. Because if we not protest, although not they say that never they protest, because even to protest now for this Buhari government, gas if you know, say now Buhari government where people go protest, they go even kill themselves again. Very, very bad, very, very sad situation for Nigerians. Very sad situation. But we just hope that with time we'll feel improve this situation for the country. But not forget, until you get prepaid meter, you get the right to say you not pay for light too. If now you get your cable, just remove your cable food for your house. But if you want still they pay, make sure say you they pay too. Because the way it be now, you either ready to join them or you want day alone. But I will advise may you not join them. Thank you very much. When we go for this break, we'll come back, we'll come face the big one for today, the Ogoni land. The cleanup of Ogoni, Niger Delta. Thousands of land destroyed, properties, farming, businesses, and all of this. When we come back, we go look at All right, welcome back now. Thank you very much for staying with us. This is still GDP, Governance, Development and People for Citizen Information Network. Do not forget if you follow us for social media platform, especially Twitter and even Instagram, and of course on Facebook. My name is TWITWI, AYENOWOWON, and of course on the program today we don't talk about we talk about the healthcare and we just talk about electricity and methane finish. And now we'll look at the big one for today, and which is the Ogoni cleanup. Now, Ogoni land don't they suffer for years. So many people don't die. So rest in peace, Ken Saro-Wiwa. They among those who they killed that time because they fight for the protection of Ogoni land. You know, not forget, say Ken Saro-Wiwa na environmental activist. But then, after Ken Saro-Wiwa, so much don't happen. For 2011, UNEP give a report about Ogoni land, the pollution. And then we have, in fact, the president then, now the son of Niger Delta. But even as the president of Niger Delta, as a son from Niger Delta, nothing was done. So for 2016, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo visit Ogoni land. He represents President Muhammadu Buhari for the flag off. And this now what really happened during that visit.
Laying a solid foundation today for the restoration of the fragile ecosystem of Ogoni land and the rest of the Niger Delta. This is an epoch-making event in the history of Nigeria. The methodology for the cleanup will ensure job creation for young people. The agro-allied industry required for the processing of the agricultural produce will also be put in place in the course of the cleanup project. The host communities as well as transit communities are enjoined to keep the environment clean, devoid of oil pollution. Reports of oil pollution in the Nigerian environment show that a significant percentage is due to sabotage and willful vandalism of oil company facilities. And so I enjoin the traditional rulers, the opinion leaders, the press, women, as well as young people of Ogoni land and the Niger Delta to work conscientiously and to ensure that we put an end to all forms of oil installation vandalism and sabotage. Let this day mark the beginning of the restoration of not just the environment of Ogoni land, but of peace and prosperity to the great land and people of the Niger Delta.
In fact, a very powerful statement given by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo during the visit to Ogoni land. And now he also said, let me just quote this part of the statement, because do not forget he represented President Muhammadu Buhari there. And President Muhammadu Buhari now, that is Osibajo speaking as President Muhammadu Buhari. I recall the time as a military head of state when I visited Bodo Town in Ogoni land. I commissioned a large fish pond and planted a tree as a sign of government concern for the environment. Let me seize this opportunity to sound a note of warning that the current oil theft and illegal refining will not be tolerated. Oil companies must carry out their operations in line with universal best practices. Now, after this visit, a lot of people did very happy. You know why? Because people saw that, wow, things we will not forget all this while. Even when the son of Niger Delta was the president, talking about Goodluck Ebele, former president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, they did not do anything about this. Because let's not forget that the UNEP report of 2011 was presented to him, and nothing was done. In that report, because as we speak at the moment, over 25,000 contaminated sites we have in Nigeria. And most of this we have in the Niger Delta due to oil spillage. Now, they clean up with years. That not just Ogoni now, because the whole of the whole place where oil don't destroy, it will take 50 years to clean her up. Now they understand that. 50 years to clean her up. Now, they can say they must create what they call the Ogoni Restoration Fund with a capital of $1 billion, where both federal government, NNPC, and the oil companies then will contribute. Then nothing was done 2011. The picture where this is a picture of devastation, polluted environment for Niger Delta. And then after Vice President Yemi Osibajo's visit, a lot of people were happy. They felt like, wow, the time has come. Finally, the process of Ogoni land will commence. And finally, the deaths of Ken Sarurua wouldn't be in vain. Of course, we know whether the cleanup take place or not, it will never be in vain, because it stood for something. It stood up against the military dictator, but he died. Now, the news broke up out just recently, talking about 2 days ago, that the federal government announced, in fact, a minister announced and made the statement, Minister for Environment, that the cleanup will commence because both the federal government and oil multinationals have contributed a total of $180 million